Hi, my name is Nathan, and welcome to a video on custom items. Now, this is a Spigot plugin. It is a premium plugin, you do have to pay for it, but it's extremely powerful in the way it works. It allows you to add new items with custom textures into Minecraft. Like if we have a quick look at some of these images, there's a diamond stick that makes a block of dirt diamond. If we have a quick look down the page, uh, you can only add custom textures to certain items. You can't add it to entities. Like, for instance, if you want to add it to armor or shields or like entity type things like that, you would need to use Optifine for that. The fallback textures, which you will need to use if you're not forcing your players to use the resource pack. It does only work on 1.14 and up. It has a Discord server, it has a wiki, it has a test server, but I haven't been on there, so I'm not sure what that's all about. The custom items only works on the textures only work on 1.9 and above, so if you're using this plugin, although it does support 1.8, you can only use the textures in 1.9 and up. So let's have a quick look at, I'm going to open the wiki. While that's opening, we're going to download the plugin and we're going to stick it in our server. So it's in our server now. So let's have a quick look at the wiki. So this is the wiki. It's not exactly user friendly, but it has got a lot of the information on. You don't need to read it. You don't have to read it. It'd be good if you did read it because it would help a lot in the way it works. Now, normally, what I'd do when you're first starting is we'd grab the examples files, but we're not going to actually do that because we're not going to go over textures until quite a way away. So I'm going to just show you what comes with the plugin by default, the cobblestone and compressed cobblestone, and then we're going to make an item, and the item is going to be a pickaxe. I'm going to make a template item, and we're going to give it some actions, and we're going to show you how to use the GUI, because the GUI is a major part of this plugin. There's not many people who would use it because it can be confusing if you don't have some kind of tutorial showing you how exactly to use it, because it's a bit confusing the way it's laid out. So just bear with us a second while we load up the server. When it wants to load, we're going to load. Here we go. Let's load in and have a look. So first of all, we're going to run through the commands. So if we do /CUI, it'll show us all the commands we've got. So we can do /CUI plugin. This will show us the version that we're running. This is helpful for when reporting bugs on the Discord, because you will be asked for this. We can do CUI list. This will show us the current custom items that are in the plugin at the moment. So we've got a magic stick and compressed cobblestone, and we'll just have a look at them in a second. In the list you can actually click on the items and it will show you information like the crafting recipe, how to obtain it, how to obtain information, and up here is the related items. So let's go back and have a look at magic stick. Obviously magic stick doesn't have a crafting recipe, so it doesn't show up here. So if we go back and exit out of that, we can run CUI info and we can type in a name, like magic stick, and it'll show us that basically that same interface but without us having to click on it. We can also do inspect magic stick, and this will if we're holding an item in our hand like cobblestone, if we do inspect, CUI inspect, it will show us what that item can do. Like cobblestone can turn into compressed cobblestone and backwards and forwards, but I'll just show that in a second. If we do /CUI get, you can type in the name of the item and you can get that item. So I got magic stick. As you can see, the magic stick has some default functions like right click air and then 2 messages, but I'll go into that and show you how that's done. As I said, this is default, and then let's go have a look at the next command. So the give command is basically the same as the get command, but you can obviously, with the get command it's you only, but with the give command you can give it to somebody else. You can use the set block command. I'm not going to use that because I have no blocks to use that with. We can use the drop command, and it shows you how you do it. So we could do, let's have a quick look at the block that we're looking at. Let's look at this real quick. So we could do /CUI drop magic stick the world, which is just world, and then we can do the X, Y and Z. So the block we're looking at, we've got our information here, so we've got -847 68 -454, and that should drop. Okay, maybe we need to do naturally at the end. Okay, did I type in the coordinates wrong? 847 4. I think I typed it in wrong. I think that's why it's not working. It was actually 5 5 4 5. See, there we go. Now it's working. So you see it dropped out of that block. Right, and I think that's, there's other commands, so we can do /CUI scan. We hold one of the items and it'll show us what's on the item that we're holding. We can then also do the /CUI reload, which obviously reloads the plugin. And then we've got edit and create, which we're going to go over next. Right, so to first get started in this plugin, you will need to start with the CUI create. But first we're going to grab an item. We're going to do a pickaxe as an example. So we're going to grab an iron pickaxe. We're going to grab something just really strange to craft it with. And we're going to grab a crafting table. Let's get rid of that. So let's put our crafting table down. Right, so we're going to do /CUI create, and then we're going to put in an item name. So for this we're going to put test pick. Right, so here's the GUI. So you've got your exit, save and exit, your item ID. That's what we've just given it. That's what you use for the spawn and the drop command. That's the name we've just put in to create it. You've got the friendly name, which is what shows up in all the GUIs. Personally, I leave the item ID and the friendly name the same, although it doesn't 100% matter. And then here you have can be used generically. So an example for that is if you're using an iron ingot. If you set this to can be used generically no, it means your custom iron ingot can't be used in recipes which iron ingots would be able to be used in, if that makes sense. Consumable, if you can eat it, only valid for foods. Enchantable, whether it can be enchanted in an enchanting table. This doesn't prevent it from being enchanted on through command, just the enchanting table. Whether it glows or not, we'll set this to yes because it's just a bit of fun in it. Right, and then here we create our item. So if we click this, it'll tell us in the bottom there to hold the item in the hand and then type set. We're going to type set, right, and then it's set to our iron pickaxe. Make sure you do this first before you really go into the rest of this. Then we got you set your texture ID. We're going to leave that blank for now because we're going to do textures in a later video. That's a whole nother story. Item display name, so we can click here and we can set the item display name. It does support color codes, so we're going to use and A. We're going to call it cool pick, and then it'll show us on here the text that we've just put in. You can also edit the lore, so obviously the lore is what's below the item. This also supports color, so we're going to do and B pick, and then you can add more and more lines, so you could put and E whatever you wanted the next line to be. It shows you here in the chat the lines, and then once you've finished all your lore lines you can do exit, and this takes you to the lore line editor where you can add more lore lines, edit the lore lines, or delete lore lines, but we're going to go back because we've put our lore lines in. In order to get to that interface, once you've already got your lines on there, you can just click this and it'll take you in there. Right, and then we are going to add a recipe, so it's going to click edit recipe. We're going to create a new recipe. Now you can either do shaped or shapeless. We're going to do a shaped recipe, and we're going to just use dark oak saplings because that's the strangest thing we can do. And then we're going to set the result amount. So this is how many you'll get once you've made the recipe. So we're going to set that to 1. Then here you can delete the recipe, exit without saving, or save and exit. We're going to save and exit because obviously we want us to save the recipe. Right, and then we're going to there's edit triggers. We're going to go into that in a second, and I'm going to show you what that's all about. So let's save and exit. So now we're going to do /CUI reload, so that it reloads all the data. Now, if we get rid of this, if we get our oak saplings and do our crafting recipe, here it crafts our item. Cool pick line 2. So here's our pick. Now obviously like this, it's just like a normal item. So for instance, you could make this an emerald pickaxe and make it out of emeralds, and add the emerald texture, but as I said, we're not going to do textures, so I'm just going to leave it like this for now. Next we're going to go into the next stage of what you do once you've made your item if you want to add certain aspects to it. So we're going to do /CUI edit and then the name of our item, which was test pick, and we're going to do edit triggers. So this is where the wiki will come in handy. So we're going to go in the wiki and go to add in handlers and actions, and here we can see everything that we need basically. We're going to kind of ignore conditions for now. We're not going to go over that right now. So if we look at our handlers on the wiki, it gives an explanation for everything, so I'm not really going to go through that. For us, for this item, we're going to choose mine, and we're going to add a new action. And then here you've got all your actions, which are also listed here. And then if we go down here to that's conditions, we've got all the way down the page to the actions and parameters. We can use this to do our stuff that we want to do. So we're going to start with send message because that's the easiest way to test. So in order to do that, we're going to just pick this up and we're going to put it over here. And we're going to put this here so we've got the wiki next to us. So in order to do this, we're going to do send message. It's our first one because it's the one right at the top here. Right at the top here. Send message. Right, and then we're going to do add an element. So here you'll see, so we've done the send message bit. Next, we've got the two elements involved in this send message. We've got the message, which is what it says, and whether you want the prefix or not. The prefix we'll go over in a second. But we're going to start with string, because that's what we've got here. We can do string or string list, but we're going to do string, because we're going to have one message. We're going to do continue. So for the name of the string, we're going to call it message. Like that. Then what do we want the message to say? We're going to do C. Hello. We're going to do mind block. Right, so we've got our message and our value. So we're going to save and exit. Have all that, and then we're going to reload again. Right, and then when we now dig, you can see it tells us that we mined a block. So now we're going to, as you can see, it has this custom items bit at the start, so we're going to remove that now. So if we go back in, and we're going to change the message as well to use a placeholder. So if we go in here, we'll go edit triggers, we'll go into the mine that we made in the messages. So we've got our two entries here. I'm going to add an element. This time we're going to make it boolean, because that's what the prefix is. Then we're going to type in prefix, and then we're going to type in pulse. So that gets rid of our prefix then. And then we're actually also going to click on our entry for message and change our message to you mind a, and we're going to scroll down the page because near the bottom of the page there's message and command placeholders. So we're just going to grab this placeholder and put it in here. So you can see we've changed that slightly. And then we're going to save and reload. Reload. Now when we dig, it'll tell us, as you can see, it's changing the block type depending on what we mine. So that's the basic gist of how to set up an item. We are going to have a quick look at the YML file now. So we can do, in the YML file we're going to add some stuff. So if we have a quick look down at, go back to the wiki and have a look in custom item reference. This page gives us a lot of detail in other things that we can do, like enchants. So we could put an enchant on it. How to reference potion effects. And other things. So let's go ahead and open up our YML file. Here's our YML file, test pick. So if you wondered, I'm using Notepad++ because it's the best thing to use for YML files because it makes sure everything's kept in space. So here's everything that our item is. So in here it'll give us our name, which is the ID that we've given it. It will give us what it's made of. So you can change this if you want. You could change this to diamond pickaxe or coal or whatever you wanted to change it to. Obviously you got the display name, the lore, the enchants. Now this would be, if you set the glow to false, then this wouldn't exist. This enchant here is for the glow effect. And then you've got your empathy damage, which it's up to you if you change that. You don't really have to be honest. And then you've got all your options that you set in the GUI. And then here you've got your recipe. So it shows you here. So our dark oak saplings is key B. So it shows you that our recipe goes diagonal. We can change this in here if we want. So if we want to change it so it makes a cross, then we can, like that. Or if we want to change if it's shaped or shapeless, we can change that. Or if we want to change what item gets used, we can change that as well. Everything's written in the wiki of how to change all these different things and how to add. But I mean, if you do get stuck, you can use the Discord. The Discord is very helpful. So let's have a quick scroll down here, because what we're actually going to add. So you've got your armor attributes, which we may go over at some point. As this is like just an overview of what's possible. We're not going to go over attributes right now. So at the bottom of this custom item reference, there is a custom item reference example where it shows you everything here which you'd think that you'd need. We're going to just do a quick find for damageable and durability. So we're going to grab durability and damageable. Now we're going to go down here and we're going to paste them in here. We're going to get rid of item damage. So if you don't set these, then your item will be basically, it'll have no durability. They won't be able to break. It'll have on breaking infinity basically. But you can obviously add durability. So if we save this now and then go back into our game and reload, if we turn into survival and then mine blocks, hang on a second. There we go. Yeah, okay, so the only reason it disappeared is because it didn't have durability. The one that I was using had infinite durability, so it refreshed. So in here it'll, look, durability 495. Now, this is just an overview of how to use the GUI and what's involved in the GUI. The rest of my tutorials will probably be done through the YML files, as I can drag stuff from the wiki page onto the YML files and it makes it a lot easier and a lot quicker. If you're interested in how interesting items can get, you could just back out of there. I'll just show you some custom items. So if we go in here, so for instance here we've got a 3x3 pick. If we drag that back into our custom items folder and then do reload, we do /cu, this 3x3 pick is on the Discord if anybody wants it. I do /cui give name 3x3 3 pick. Yeah, there we go. So as you can see, it's 3x3 pick. It's got 4 modes. I actually made this. Took quite a while. So you can do different mining. So if we do single block mining, if there was some ore around here, we'll just get some ore real quick. So here we can do single block mining. Obviously, which way we're looking? We're looking south. So if we go north-south mining, we can mine south. That's just going to get messy real quick. And then obviously we change to east-west. We can mine that way. Up down. And then you single block. The only reason single block's there is because it's going to be extended in the future. Obviously you get all the items that you've mined. So it works like that. If you want to see some more tutorials, if you want to write down in the comments what kind of stuff you want to see, I'd be happy to oblige. And custom resource packs are coming in the future. I'll be doing some tutorials on how to do that, because I know it's quite complicated, because that's what most people struggle with this plugin, but it is an extremely powerful plugin. Another thing I should say is if you're good at writing script, this plugin also does connect with script. You can add your own script files. If we just have a quick brief look in here, if we just go down here, script. So it lets you, there's a bunch of stuff in here about how to get script running and what to do there. You can, obviously, if you don't want to do a crafting recipe, you can change your recipe to a furnace recipe. That's also in here. I just have to say, when you're editing the YML file, let's have a quick look at this 3x3 pick. So this is my 3x3 pick. It's a very large file, as you can see, but that just keeps it interesting. I made this, so yeah, if you've got any questions, let me know in the comments below. Hit up the Discord. I'll put the link for the CustomItems Discord and the wiki and the plugin page, and let me know in the comments what else you want to see. I will catch you all around.